BuzzWith3Zs.com. Now, bringing integrity back to media. Lutonya M. Lane.
It's your girlfriend, your buddy, your pal. Welcome to BuzzZinOFF with Lutonya. I know you're wondering what's going on with this show. Well, it's a lot going on. Definitely, if you're looking forward to having a great year and branding your personal self and then branding your business, this is a show for you. Now, I'm not good with the New Year's resolutions. I don't do those, because really I believe in, just perfecting yourself as you go. One of my favorite scriptures is we die daily. So I'm always reinventing myself. But I have a special guest here with us today that's going to help you on your journey to reinvent a new you coming in 2017. Aaja, Corinne, my baby, is in the building. She is the brand ambassador. You guys know her. I rock with her real hard. So y'all know her from Industry Buzz, as well as she received the honorary award as the brand ambassador, and she's here with us on today. We're going to be talking about game changers. We're talking about branding yourself. We're talking about a lot of things. But one thing I need you to do for us is share it. Get all your cousins, your buddies, your friends, your pals. Let them know we're on live with Aaja Corinne. What's up, girl?
Hey, Lutonya, and I love me some Lutonya.
I love you right back. There's nothing you can do about it. And I was expecting Austin.
I know. Well, Austin's daddy was home today, so he with him daddy bonding.
Yes.
Amen.
Thank God for the brand baby. So, hi, Austin. We was all ready for you. But when I first met you, you was just getting out of college. You were in the stages of developing and branding, and you actually went to school for fashion.
Yeah.
So tell us about your journey.
So my journey doesn't look like this. It looks like this. So I met Lutonya shortly after I graduated from Columbia College Chicago. My degree is in fashion business, and initially I started in fashion styling. I got started a little bit before I graduated, and then that was what my entrepreneurial aspirations were after graduating. And so Columbia is one of those schools that get you extremely hyped up. You just know that you got next and you're just ready to change the game. But one thing I discovered shortly after graduating, I quit my job, my retail job, prematurely, and it was at that point that I realized there's a difference between a skill and a business and a business and a brand. So I had a skill in fashion, styling, an eye for image and all of those things, but I didn't have a network at that time that was suited to, the business that I was building in terms of, being in a financial predicament to pay for my services, nor did I have recognition or visibility amongst the group that I would consider to be my ideal client. So it was one of the best experiences, I'd say, of my life, that in the ones that in hindsight you look and you say that was really important because it was a defining moment for me. So I was a struggling entrepreneur, struggling artist for about 8 months without a job and just, kind of working on my entrepreneurial endeavors, but, income not coming in consistently. And then I, went back to retail, which I didn't want to do. I went back to working at Banana Republic at that time, and I was just dreading it because I did not want to in retail sales any longer. At that point, I had probably been in retail sales for about 5-6 years. But then a divine opportunity came to me shortly after that, about 3 months after I joined Banana Republic, to work visual presentation at Neiman Marcus on Michigan Avenue. And so that was a God opportunity that took me into a new lane of visual presentation.
And you know what, during the course of your, explaining who you are, you talked about prematurely moving. And I think jump, calculated risk.
Absolutely.
And so about your journey, you then, jump back into it only to be set on now.
Yeah.
And one of your quotes that you said is, you were, however, is to getting in front of the right audience. And you have been in front of the right audience. I have seen you everywhere. You guys that don't know, you can also check her out on Periscope. She has her Monday, Maximizing Mondays, where she's motivating and inspiring. And you're always, eager to motivate and inspire. Who inspire you?
I'm inspired. I don't really have one thing that inspires me, to be completely honest. I'm really inspired by purpose. I'll say that I am really serious about my relationship with God and developing that, and just that fresh wind that I get, that really helps me. I'm inspired by, my friends and those who are on the pursuit of purpose, game changers like Lutonya. I was talking to her in like a decade doing industry. Huge, like that consistency piece, because you see people, come on and then drop off the scene, but time really does tell the story, because you see whose heart is in it, who wasn't just in it for the money, or who wasn't in it for the 15 minutes of fame, but who's committed to the mission. And I'm inspired by individuals such as yourself that does that. But I've always, just with everything, with learning, with everything, just kind of being like a melting pot, so it really is never one thing for me. I'm always inspired by different people in different situations and scenarios.
And speaking of a melting pot, when it comes to branding, you definitely have to have the right temperature in this area, the right tools in this area, because so many times when you're in that incubator, you don't know what you need, to be able to be successful. Now, it's so much that's going on in media today, since you started at Columbia, and now, everything is going on with social media. With someone that's looking to brand and maximize their ability to connect to an audience, what would you say would be one of the first steps that they need to really branding?
Absolutely. You have to know what your message is. You have to know what your message is. Social media is a huge tool. It's done wonders for me in terms of growing my platform, but you aren't going to grow an audience, you aren't going to grow influence if you don't have anything for people to connect to. You need some substance, and that substance is your message. You really need to understand what conversation you're having each day. And, I was asking, my audience yesterday, I said, review your profiles. Are you follow worthy? Like, you need to give people a reason to connect with you. Sometimes people wonder why there's crickets on their posts and their statuses. Maybe you're not talking about anything relevant or, value adding to your audience. So you want to know your message, and your message is going to lead you to your audience. And then from there, you can start, really being intentional about shaping perception, but message and then audience.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important that you said that, because people need to know their identity. So many times we do jump and we're excited about jumping, but we don't have an identity. So, it's like one of those kids that's under peer pressure, so they'll constantly change and do whatever, based on, their following. So what would you say to someone who's not, getting that, but they want to be true to themselves and what their message is? What would you say to them in their branding?
Absolutely. Personal branding is parallel to personal development. And that's one thing, that God showed me on this journey, because what you do in the background shows up in the forefront. And also, personal branding has to be from an authentic place. Like, if you're going to be consistent, that consistency is tied to your authenticity, because, if you're trying to do what someone else is doing, or, just modeling what you see, you're not going to be able to keep that up. So eventually you're going to lose the trust of your audience, and you're not going to have, that freshness. One thing that I know is that to identify when you're operating in your gift should just flow. A lot of the things, people connect with me on Facebook and they look at the things that I post. That's my thought flow. That's not anything that I'm pre-planning or pre-scheduling. And, a lot of people, probably marketing strategists will get, on me, because everything I do is pretty much real time. I don't do a lot of, let me schedule this out, because I believe that when this word comes, it's for now, But also, one thing to say about, connecting the dots of your journey. When you were speaking, I thought about that my platform really kind of solidified in 2015, and it was because I understood that there was a connection between, my skills and my life's purpose. And, for so long, if you kind of follow me on my journey, I was separating Aaja, Corinne the brand, and saying that was the business. Right. Then you have me. And then one day it was like, no, you are the brand. So you get, every aspect of me. These days it's the wife, the mom, the entrepreneur, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's not, different. But when I was able to blend the two, that's when my message really developed, and it went from, just image to, branding, being a total package and a personal brand, and really helping game changers, leaders, to package and position themselves for their next level opportunities.
Now, speaking of leaders, there's just a big thing that just happened with Kim Burrell, and a lot of people, have she has went under fire,
Yeah.
but she has not been the only leader that has went under fire, or the only politician, a person that has went under fire for something that they said.
Yeah.
And it was not completely, the whole
Of
scroll
course.
was not completely put up. What would you say to someone that's in a leadership position with the new wave of media? Everybody is Facebooking Live, and you're not getting a signed consent saying that you can even tape me, but you're
Yeah.
taping me. I hate that when I'm at church and people be taping me while I'm in a prayer line. I was like, who told you to do that?
Yeah.
Cover my face, don't get my snot, delete, but people are now there just eager to get that
Of
next
course.
story. What would you say to someone that's dealing with a situation that just happened in the media?
Yeah, I think one thing about being an influencer is that, influence is responsibility. And so you have to really be careful about platforms that you touch and don't touch. I mean, if you are really for a message and this is what you're going to go after, then, choose to do that with care and be prepared. Sensitive things like that. It's not depending on you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so, we're getting our information off Twitter and things like that. We're not going to credible sources and then we're shaping opinions when we don't have, the whole story. So I say, make sure to educate yourself and then choose your conversation wise.
But it's great that you said that, because now a lot of the outlets that's out here, it's a personal blog, it's a personal
Absolutely.
opinion, and now it's becoming ABC's opinion or CNN opinion or all of these other people's opinion without having the actual facts of the whole story.
Yeah.
So if it's a hashtag, then it's all of a sudden, a phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's great that you say that, to really, really, really get the root of it, opposed to just
don't
going
just
with
get
the
your
fad.
information from what somebody is sharing.
Mhm.
Go and Google and find the credible source on your own. Information is available. We have to do a lot better about doing our personal research.
Now let's talk about Game Changers, creating a shift.
Yeah.
What is Game Changers?
So it took me so long to put a name on my audience. I was like, because I don't just help entrepreneurs, I don't just help executives. I mean, it really took some time to really say, this is my audience. And so Game Changers, that's what I call my community. There are people who are purposed by God to create an impact and a shift in the culture, and in particular the marketplace. And so you have your speakers, your authors, your CEOs, your entrepreneurs, your leaders. These are individuals that need a platform to present their gifts and get their message heard. Mm-hmm. And so they have something valuable, and the reason why personal branding is so valuable, to that group is because, if you're not effectively packaging yourself, from an image perspective or from a messaging perspective, or if you don't know what your signature is and your it factor is, you're not going to be able to rise above the noise. In the marketplace, we're in a day and age where, everybody's doing something, everybody's saying something, and so you have to have this concrete, solid image and brand in order to really put yourself out there.
Now, as we're getting ready to come and maximize 2017, what would you say would be at least 3 solid steps for someone that's looking to merge their brands together, and really maximize their year?
Yeah, I would definitely say get clear on your message, your audience, and your intent. And I believe that a lot of that, goes back to purpose. If you know your purpose, I believe that it'll be a lot easier for you to kind of discover those things. And so it's that personal development step that I keep, going back to, that you cannot overlook. You have to spend time with yourself. You have to spend time with God, and you have to really get clear on those things before you start putting yourself out there. Because once you get a platform, it's little little room for error. You know, as we're talking about the Kim Burrell situation, which I actually didn't go research or look at the video. I just, you know, saw my timeline, everything, and, know what the situation is. But, now you have a platform and now you're on, and so you really need to know who you are when you get up to that place. The second thing is like really tap into what your it factor is. For me, I had to get comfortable with blending my faith and business. It was not something that I was always comfortable with, for fear that it may, make me lose out on clientele and things like that. But actually the reverse occurred. And when I really got, solid on, my audience and my message, it actually, really strengthened my platform all the more. So I have this thing that I say, be exclusive to be inclusive. And what that means is that, you're going to draw who you're going to draw, you're going to send who you're going to send. But the more exclusive you get, the better that you can serve the audience that you're really looking to serve. And then the other thing that I'll say is just really commit to the plan, commit to you. And also, one thing that I have been doing lately is being brutally honest with myself, eliminating the fluff. I don't really believe that we can develop the strong brands that we want to develop if we're not willing to be honest about, what is working, what's not working, our flaws, our areas of opportunity. Like, you have to have those real conversations with yourself. And then you also have to be open to that feedback from your audience, because again, your brand is a service. You're serving, through your brand building efforts. And so you don't want to be so that you can't, receive constructive feedback, because again, it's the people that ultimately help to, elevate your brand.
And you know what, as we're coming to a close, me and Felice were just talking about that, and I was telling her, I said, I started looking at myself on camera, and listening to the radio show and all of that stuff. And at first, I had a real hard time with doing that, because I was just like, I'm a perfectionist. So I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to look at it. It's done. It's over with. But I started saying, you know what, in order for me to get better, I have to watch myself and see it. So Kavan was like, well, you say this word too many times. So
I say, a million times. It's just like, because I listen to every, recording or speech or Maximize Mondays, and I'll be like, and I'm like, if you say, one more time. Yeah.
But I just appreciate, your gift. I really do. I honor your gift, and I appreciate you sharing it. Like, you don't have to do your Maximize Mondays. You don't have to share your life, but do your life. You have inspired me as well. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
We're having a moment on camera.
Right. This is my baby. Now, how can people connect to you and find out more, and definitely, get their brand jump started for 2017?
Yeah, so my name's Aaja Corinne McGee. I'm a Chicago-based image and personal branding strategist, helping high potentials and leaders to create game-changing personal brands by teaching them how to package and platform their purpose, their God-given purpose. You can connect with me on pretty much any social media site, Aaja Corinne. You can also connect with me via my website, www.aajacorinnethebrand.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Aaja, for joining us on today. Next up, we have Rashauna Scott that's in the building to help us get our finances together and in order. And if you're looking to go into real estate, she has a plan for you. Back on BuzzZinOFF with Lutonya.
You need to have something that represents your brand, that represents you, that stands out. I want to talk to you about signature style and how to be the best representation of you. Hi, my name is Aaja Corinne. I'm an image consultant and brand strategist. I work with professionals, entrepreneurs, and fashion retailers to help them shape their brand perception through presentation. I believe the image is extremely important, and I believe that helping others to build a relevant and effective brand image will help them to increase their perceived value in the marketplace. I started my career as a fashion stylist, and one thing I found out is that I really love the transformation aspect. We start with a consultation, I find out more about them, I find out more about their image goals, their brand, their business goals, and then I leverage my expertise to help them develop an image that's consistent all the way around. When it comes to my professional clients, as opposed to being trendy, I really encourage them to develop signature style. You need to have something that represents your brand, that represents you, that stands out, just helps you to really create a solid and strong brand identity. I decided to host some signature style events. I hosted two, one at a stylist curated boutique in Lakeview called Standout Style Boutique. I thought it was the perfect venue to host my first signature style event because all of the pieces are extremely exclusive. Leading up to my first signature style event, I partnered with a Chicago-based millinery designer, Angela Morano. She designs these wonderful headbands that she calls turbans. The focus of my collaboration with Angela was to create a collection that catered to women from all walks of life. So we selected 5 different styles of turbans, and at Signature Stylist Standout Style Boutique, I created looks that fit the persona for each turban.
Thank you all for coming to Signature Style. The reason why this came about is because I decided that I really, really love Angela Morano's turbans. We came up with a limited edition collection. Each one really represents a different personality. Developing your signature style really helps you to be recognized when people know that that's you. They know that's your look. They know what they're buying into. If anybody is gonna get to your substance, they first have to encounter you visually first. And if your visual doesn't align with your substance, then your brand won't be as effective as you need it to be to really succeed.
Then I thought, why can't professional women be signature? Just because you're in corporate America does not mean you have to be boring or stale. So I partnered with The Limited to host Signature Style Workplace Edition. I had a ton of fun doing this collection. I shared tips like how to add a third piece, how to wear a statement necklace, how to transition your look from day to night. I believe that you're a brand no matter what environment you're in. So being signature is just something that you have to do. It's a way of life.
One of my favorite things to do is really show how you can maximize your wardrobe, because you invest in a piece and you want it to have longevity. The white collared shirt adds polish to anything. It doesn't matter, it goes with everything. I mean, no matter what outfit you're wearing, you can find a way to add in a white shirt. You see that in having several just foundation elements, you can really mix and match your look and make it look totally different every time.
Whether it's a women's group meeting, church function, or corporate event, I want to talk to you about signature style and how to be the best representation of you. I want to help you to be the brand.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to BuzzZinOFF with Lutonya. I know you're like, okay, we're ready with our brand, but what do I do with my finances? Where do I invest my money? And how do I even get into real estate? Well, I have Rashauna Scott here to help us with those questions. Welcome, Rashauna, to the show. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Likewise. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Right. Happy holidays.
Right. Now, the last time that I got a chance to make your acquaintance was at the 40 on the 40 with Cherise.
Yes.
Shout out to Cherise.
Yes.
And you was getting inducted in the 40 on the 40, and I had a chance to meet you then. And then when I put up the post, me and Felice, she was like, "That's my girl." I was like, "All right, well, we good to go." But I have been watching you along your journey and got a couple things that I want to ask you about real estate and finances. As we're creating our brand and getting everything together, finances is a huge part of being able to really take our brand to the next level.
Yes.
So, you know, a lot of people that are entrepreneurs, when they come in, they have problems with their finances. Their credit is bad, they cannot purchase, and they're having a hard time renting because they're trying to be an entrepreneur. So most of them most likely may get put out of their house or, you know, trying to go along their journey. What's some steps that, you know, you would say can get us out of that trouble if you're an entrepreneur trying to jump in 2017?
Okay, well, the first thing that I would say, and the main reason why a lot of entrepreneurs and just people in general, before they get started in business, they can't get their business finances in order because your personal finances have to be in order, right? And so my favorite 6-letter word from 2016, and I'm sure carrying the 2017 and the years down the line, but budget. You know, that's the number one reason why a lot of people get stuck or end up having to reverse or on their plans or whatever it is. But budget, you definitely want to make sure that you're putting together a great budget. And the type of budget that I recommend to people is a zero-based budget. So pretty much, just to break it down really quick, I'm not going to go all the way into
I was like,
it.
what's that?
And I'm not going to go all the way into it, but you pretty much are going to write out all of your expenses for the month. You're going to write out your fixed expenses, your variable expenses, and then you're actually going to budget. So in that, you're going to put the rest of the funds that you have over, you're going to put it somewhere. So at the end of that spreadsheet, spreadsheet, you should have a 0 at the bottom. Now, that doesn't mean you spent everything for the month, but that means that every dollar that you made, you allocated it, you know, to go somewhere. So, you know, you're putting it in your savings account. You're putting it, you know, towards the groceries. You're putting it towards going out and that type of thing. But you know where everything is going, and that way you're in control of your finances.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you're definitely in control of real estate and finances. Now, you got your BA in entrepreneurship and management.
I did.
And most of your adult life, you worked in corporate America. What made you launch?
Well, what made me launch was I got let go. So that was more like a kick, right?
That was a step up.
but it was a kick out the door. But you know what? It was already there. It was already there. I, you know, wanted to take that jump and take that leap, and God knew that it had been time. You know, I was supposed to already take that jump months before I got let go. But yeah, so being able to do that and walk away from that and not go back, right? Because that's one thing a lot of entrepreneurs, when you do take that leap of faith, it's easy to go back. You know, it's easy to go back to want to get a 9-to-5, to have that constant 2-week check coming in, you know, because it creates a lot of anxiety not knowing where the next meal or the next check is going to come from. But I will say that, you know, once you do take that leap of faith, get surrounded by an amazing support system, you know, and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I had that. About real. We do need to get some insurance. We got Corinne if you need some insurance. I got mine. But get your insurance, but also make sure that you have some stability with your finances.
Yeah.
What do you think people can do if they're an entrepreneur and they're looking to really, you know, just get their extra dollars? So have some type of consistency coming in through real estate.
Okay, so what you can do is call me. But no, seriously, when I go through my financial coaching plan with people that I help out, we go over budgeting, credit, savings, investing. Like, those 4 things are, you know, essential to putting together a solid foundation. And when I get to the investing portion, you know, I talk about the many different ways of investing. So obviously, you know, you have your stocks, your bonds, your different ways that you can invest, but my personal favorite is real estate. And I say that because real estate, there's so many different opportunities in real estate. I get messages and inboxes and emails so many times from people saying, oh, I always wanted to get started in real estate, but I don't know how. Well, the great thing is that there's a lot of different ways. So you have a strategy called wholesaling. You have, you can buy properties through tax sale, and you can do buy and hold and fix and flip. So there's a number of different strategies that you can do. But if you're looking to get started in real estate, the number one thing that you have to do is get educated. You have to know what you're doing before you just jump into it. I've seen so many people just jump into it after watching HGTV, you know. They think they can go on and flip a house, and they make so many mistakes along the way. But that's one of the things you want to do, is get educated. And it's a number of different companies out there. If you're looking for some great education companies, you can, again, contact me. But yeah, you know, you want to go ahead, get educated, and then figure out which investing strategy works best for you. Because like I said, there's a number of different ones out there, but it really just depends on which one best matches your personality.
Yeah, and as an entrepreneur, I've noticed that they have so many things now online where they automatically take money out of your account, like Digit, you know, or they have Acorn where you can invest online.
Right.
What do you think about different opportunities like that they have, like, what is that, Penny Hoarder, where you can get more money so that you can invest? What do you think about different opportunities like that they have online?
Well, when it comes to online opportunities, you definitely have to be careful and read all of the you know, the fine lines. Right, all the disclaimers. You got to read everything and make sure you know what it is you're investing in, because that's one thing about not going to talk bad about the stock market, but one thing about, you know, 401ks and different investment retirement accounts out there, a lot of people are investing, but they don't know what they're investing in, right? So they know they're putting money somewhere, but if the market falls, well, guess what? Guess what else is going to fall? So I'll say that. The other thing I want to say is that with it being 2017, you brought up, just online, period. One thing I will say is that like I said, nowadays with technology, you can link your checking account to almost
Edward and Jones.
Okay, anything, right? But yeah, so you want to make sure that you set up that even if you have a savings account to the side, or if it is an investment account or something, again, that goes into that budget, that zero-based budget that we were talking about. So if you want to allocate $50 a month or whatever it is to go towards a certain investment account or even a savings account or whatever it is, you want to make sure that you put that in your budget and that you go ahead and get that set up.
Yeah, I know that some entrepreneurs, they get scared, especially if it's like, you own Section 8, you own, Link, and you're trying to be an entrepreneur, and you're like, where's the money going to come from? But I think that you can still save even in the midst of that growth, segment. So what would you say to someone that's, no longer is working,
okay.
And now they have those things that's going on.
You mean someone like me?
Look, we always a work in progress, but they're looking to really, stabilize the foundation, because even a lot of our entrepreneurs are mothers, fathers,
right.
And they have kids, so they don't think of, like Corinne got on me about having an insurance policy,
okay.
And having things set up. So if something does happen to you as an entrepreneur, you have something, for your family, and you're not leaving them with that. So what would you say to someone that's an entrepreneur that's just trying to figure out where to get those extra pennies from?
So it's funny you said that. I actually went to a wealth conference in Atlanta back in October, and it was about just talking about different ways on how entrepreneurs can find money, right? And long story short, it talked about, now again, we go back to educating yourself, right? You got to know what it is that you're doing in your industry, but also if that isn't working, sometimes we're reaching for other opportunities, but you don't just want to jump in anywhere. You want to, again, make sure you know what it is that you're getting yourself into. And the quote, I guess you can say, that came out of the conference was learning how to be the plug. And so it was saying, basically, that goes down to when you learn how to connect people or connect the dots or connect people within different industries, there is a way that you can get paid in between that. Right? So one example was wholesaling. And again, that's a real estate strategy, but it's all about being a middleman, right? So wholesaling is basically where you connect, where you have somebody who's selling the property and you have somebody who's interested in buying the property. You bring the two together and you make a profit in the middle. So there's a number of different ways that you can do that.
Do you have to have your real estate license?
You do not have to have your real estate license, and I'm glad you asked that question, because that's the number one myth that a lot of people have. They think in order to get into real estate that they have to have a license. Now, another example of being a plug is, I guess you can say, like hairstylists, right? So you have hairstylists that are doing hair, and then you also have people who are selling hair, right? So then you can be the wholesaler and you can make money in between. Right. So I mean that's just an example, but there are a lot of different ways, to create opportunities out here, and to find, I guess, like I said, different opportunities when times are hard. And again, like I said, budget. When you're budgeting, because people don't realize how much budgeting can help them until they actually do it. So many people that I've worked with, we do a budget. They don't know where their money is going at all. They feel like they have more money than money, but we do a budget and we look at where all of their money is going, and it's like, oh wow, I didn't realize I was spending this much on Amazon or eating out or on iTunes, on Google, on this or that or whatever. But when you do it and when you actually see it, like, you can't be afraid of the numbers. I'm actually shocked at how many people I'm meeting who say, like, oh, I'm afraid of numbers. Like, why? Well, I don't understand. I'll never understand. But you definitely have to look at it and face it to take care of it.
Now, in 2011, you founded Scott Realty Investments. Tell us, what does your company do now?
I did. Okay, so my company
just lit up.
Like, I did, yes. Yes. So 5 years ago, and it has not been a great 5 years. I mean, obviously, I'm working full time, going to school full time, got my real estate license, hustling, right?
Congratulations.
So just trying to make it. So for the past 5 years, my company, how you get incorporated, and sometimes you let stuff go or build this or that or whatever. But my company did just buy its first investment property.
Hey, yeah, I saw that too. I was like, yeah, keep buzzing off.
Yes. So 2-unit building in Chicago. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, so it's all about using what I've learned over the years from, like I said, going to so many different workshops, seminars, like I said, educating myself in real estate, taking a very expensive real estate education course, and basically using everything that I've acquired over the years to creatively acquire property and help other people do the same.
You definitely are on the right track.
Thank
I'm
you.
really proud of you.
Thank you.
And everybody can get on the right track by staying connected to you, even
Mm-hmm.
with their credit. Taking it one thing at a time. That's what I always tell people, and I'm working on that myself,
Mm-hmm.
taking it one segment at a time. Now, I'm going to ask you this before we close out.
Okay.
Student loans has been one of the biggest things that really cause entrepreneurs to go under.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone that has a huge amount of debt in student loans?
That's
to
a
kind of
good-
get themselves together.
So
And
that's
will
a
it
good
affect them
question.
getting a real estate property?
No, it shouldn't. Like I said, there's a lot of different creative ways on how you can obtain property. Again, it's just on being educated on how, okay, how can I do this and how can I do that? There's a lot of different strategies that you can buy property with no money and no credit. Or if you have one, you can, use that to leverage the other or whatnot. But student loans, glory to God, I do not have any.
Oh, that's what you doing?
So, I actually worked really hard and paid my way through school. Went to an affordable, in-state university. So it's hard for me to relate because I know that is a question. I know a lot of people have that question. So what I will say is that I have had clients that I've worked with, and they, student loans, there are an issue. So I know a lot of people are looking at, consolidating. There's a lot of different programs. I'm not the student loan expert.
That's okay. I'm going to need you to become one.
Okay. I'm not the student loan expert.
So you can be able to help.
But yeah, so, right.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Next time I ask you that question, you're
Yeah.
gonna have the skill. I know it. I know it. Because it's necessary for us to be healthy in all areas. Because so many times when we are entrepreneur, our natural thing is to be creative. Mm-hmm. It's not to worry about this, that, and the other. And that's why I'm excited that I have a team now, because I just want to just perfect the craft and have solid people around me that are excellent in what they do, and I can take my hands off. But as you're getting into that stage, you need to be able to have that flexibility, to grow in all areas of your life, so you can really soar. Because so many times, people, they'll say, well, you know what, I'll just, do chapter 7, or I'll just do chapter 13, and I'll cut it off, or I'll do this, that, and the other, trying to just get by. And really going into this season, new president, new everything that's getting ready to take place, I think that it's really important for us to be healthy in all areas of our lives, even healthy in business, relationships, whatever's going on in our credit, really taking, on that responsibility. So I'm excited about you taking on the responsibility to go into real estate and help us. Now, you are a financial coach. You also do public speaking and everything else. What is 3 steps that you say, that can help people, just get back on track for 2017 in their lives, just in general?
Okay. So definitely budgeting, write it down, everything that I mentioned as far as the zero-based budget, and if you happen to get stuck on it, just reach out to me. I can help you, guide you along the way. The other thing is you want to download, everybody has smartphones now, you want to download a budgeting app that can assist you with, all of your finances. I know there are a lot of people who have heard of Mint. Mint is one. Have you heard of Mint? Okay, so Mint is a great budgeting app, and it does connect to your checking account. And so that way, every time you swipe your card, it's going to categorize where you just spent your money at.
Do it cuss you out too?
No, it's going to send you a weekly report. But I mean, again, it's really getting real and raw with your finances and seeing where your funds are going. So like I said, get that budget intact. Download a budgeting app. The next thing I want to talk about is credit. Credit. I know we didn't really dive too much into it, and I know you also brought up, filing bankruptcy, right? That may not always be the answer, but once we understand and once we learn more about what a credit score is, what a credit score means, what a credit score does, how we can leverage, what it is that we have, we're just able to take, I guess you said we're able to create more opportunities with what we know. So the last thing I want to leave you guys with is the 5 factors that make up credit score. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people don't know this. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were saying, my address and my date of birth isn't right on my credit report, right? Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that before. Like I'm sure when people pull a credit report, you see like it'll have your name, it'll have your address, it'll have this and that, and it may have multiple addresses. And someone said, I got to get that straightened out because it's hurting my score. I was like, huh? And they say, yeah, I got to get that straightened out because it's hurting my score. I'm like, that is not one of the factors that even makes up a score. And so so having those conversations with people and having people understand what it is you need to be focused on in case you have goals that you're trying to get to, which I know all of us have goals we're trying to get to. So if you're trying to buy a house, if you're trying to buy a car, if you're trying to get the best rate on XYZ, you need to know what it is you want to do. So make sure you grab a pen and paper, write this down. 35% of your score is your payment history. Okay, so are you paying your bills on time? That's going to make up 35% of your score. 30% of your score is going to be your utilization ratio. So if you're at a 30% or less on your utilization ratio, then you're pretty much in a good place. And pretty much what that means, utilization ratio, is if you have a credit card for $1,000 limit, 30% of that would be $300. So you want to make sure that you're never using any more than $300 every month on that card. Okay. Right? Okay. 15% of your score is your age of file. So age of file means how long have you had your oldest account? And so that question comes up a lot because you have a lot of people who say, I'm going to close this account, I'm going to close that account. Well, that account is from 1985, right. Even though it may be hurt, even though you may have a late payment on there, and it may be hurting you there. Also, if you close this account and you just open up an account this year, now you got 1 year old report versus 20 some years, right? So that's something to consider. So 15% is your age of file. 10% is inquiries. So a lot of people say, if I get a lot of inquiries, it's going to kill my score or whatever, but it's only going to affect 10% of your score. And the last 10% is diversification. So a lot of people think they have good credit just because they have a credit card. Well, bureaus are looking at, or the companies are looking at, what's your mix of credit like? Like, are you really well with managing multiple different types of credit accounts? So a credit card, or a mortgage, or a car note, that type of thing.
Okay. So now, you know what, you said something about inquiries. Now, you can't, like, if you're getting ready to purchase a home and you're getting ready to purchase a car, one thing that I've always told people is to alert the credit bureaus that you're doing that, because if you don't within a certain amount of time, it'll stay on your credit.
Well, inquiries only stay on your credit for 2 years. So, yeah, they shouldn't stay on your credit for no more than that. And the inquiries that if you get, you're allowed a shopping window for
Much for being with us as well, and all the guests in the studio, and thank you for joining us as we continue to buzz off. Now, you have the tools that you need to be successful in 2017. As they said, make sure Oh, hey. As they said, make sure that you're honest with yourself. That has been one of the main components to our conversation today. Having those hard questions with yourself so that you can be successful. And if you need a buddy, call us if you need somebody to talk to. This is your girlfriend, your buddy, your pal, Lutonya of IndustryBuzzWith3Zs.com. Thank you for tuning in.
IndustryBuzzWith3Zs.com. Now, bringing integrity back to media. Lutonya M. Lane.